What's going on YouTube? Tyler here with False Neutral Media. Alongside me, my brother, co-host Trevor. Salt Lake City is over. It's done. And there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where to fucking begin. But congratulations, VL. Sure. Whatever, man. Like, that's all I kind of have to say with that. Like, congrats, man. I wish it was a little different, but yeah, let's get into it. But yeah, congrats on the East Coast Championship.
Make sure to split your winnings with RJ Hampshire and Juju Billmare.
Yep.
Go ahead and make sure you set that all up. Jesus, what a clusterfuck of a East-West shootout for the final round.
Dude.
First, let's get into what happened during qualifying. Cole Davies, he's out, broken arm, broken nose. Don't know when he's going to be getting back on the bike. Real shame. Saw a lot of people talking about, like, who's going to get the blame for this. You watch Cole Davies makes a mistake and is trying to get back on rhythm. Jordan Smith lands on because he was already in the fucking air. It's a racing incident. It's nobody's fault. Anybody going, that's all Cole Davies' fault. Brother, I'm trying to put lines together and I fucked up and I'm trying to rebound. You guys couldn't even roll over half of these jumps. Go ahead.
To be fair, I do get it was a race incident. It was a total fucking accident. But I do understand the people that are going, oh, it's Cole Davies' fault. Yes, he fucked up on the rhythm. And instead of staying to the left or the right, out of the race line, which he had plenty of time to, he stayed directly in the middle of the track, which I get. So, but at the same time, it's not like, oh, flaggers are going to see that. It's in practice. So everyone, is doing it. So it is literally a race accident. It sucks. We both really want to see Cole Davies take this win and basically battle with Handmaker. But yeah, dude, it was super unfortunate when I saw that. I was just, and I thought he was way worse. It looked way worse than what it was. Glad both riders are all right, but
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a lower back injury when I first saw it, especially from the drone view.
Dude,
it looked nasty, but happy that both of them are able to make recoveries. I think, unfortunately, Cole Davies is probably going to be a longer one, but it is what it is. But let's get into the 250 class as a whole.
Yep.
My God. I mean, Deegan was on rails. We knew he would be. No spoiler alert for the night show. Deegan was dominant from the fucking first lap.
Yep.
He gapped him in the first rhythm section after the first corner and took off, and nobody saw him after that, unless he was passing him. But the real drama happened mid-pack. Let's get into it.
Seth, I was very bummed for Seth, man. He was riding phenomenal. He had, oh God, where do we begin? He had to not only deal with lap riders when they got to it, but he also had to deal with people that aren't even close in the championship standing points, which we both found frustrating. He had to deal with Bowmere, Hampshire, and we're going to get into both of those, but it's just crazy how the last race we watched with Deegan and Davies and that whole corner situation, which wasn't as bad. Deegan did get a warning. He didn't get any, he didn't get fined. He didn't get anything. He didn't get in trouble, but he did get a warning for that, which I find absolutely fucking absurd. That even a warning. But then you got RJ, and I get it. RJ was pushing. But he was having trouble. The track was dry, dusty, slick. It was it was a battle all around. But dude, what did you think about just the struggles that he had with people up front that had no business trying to take him out for championship points?
Well, I'll tell you this, right? You have Seth Hammaker, who's proven his conditioning is top tier. He pushes the whole moto, right? The entire main event, this dude is pushing and making up time. He is outpacing everybody and got a pretty decent start, but not good enough to be up in the top 3. He's carving his way through. We have Tom Vial, we have Juju Bomir, and we have Deegan up in the lead. Deegan's already got a break, right? He's already pulled away. So now it's the question of, we have the East Coast Championship right here, plus Juju Bomir, who is West Coast, correct?
Yeah.
And that championship, unless I'm brain dead, ended last week, right? And Juju,
Yep.
your main rival is 15 seconds ahead of you, dog. So I want to know why you're riding at a pace of molasses, blocking Seth Hammaker as you're looking over your shoulder to see where your fucking teammate is, who already got outpaced by Hammaker, who was on rails and looking to catch Deegan. However, Juju, you are holding this dude back to give your teammate a fighting chance for the championship, which is horseshit. You're on a different coast. If they did that to you in the point standings, you'd cry like a baby. I hate it.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. I don't know what it is. Chalk it up to them being youngsters and having to learn. That's fine. I grew up racing and I grew up watching this shit, right? So I'm sitting there going, if I'm lining up at the gate for a series I've participated in since the fucking beginning, and I know these two dudes are fighting for the championship, and I'm not even in the conversation, I'm not doing a block pass in almost taking out one of the championship contenders. Vial, if he wanted that championship, should have met the pace of Hammaker. He did not. Hammaker passed him and was looking to secure the championship. For Juju Bomir to even get involved with a block pass, who are you proving to? You're already second dog. Deegan's whooping you. Who are you proving this to? The East Coast is fighting for their championship. Get the fuck out of the way.
Almost pushing him off the track. Like, why are you bumping bars?
Dude, and it's the rubbing is racing. Not when you have nothing to do with the championship. Then you're just Vince Freeze and you're an asshole.
Yeah.
That's what that is, right?
Yeah.
No, dude, I don't need somebody who was barely in point contentions in his own coast, finally finding the jets. Move, dude.
Yeah.
Then all of that happens. Hammaker almost goes down because of Juju Bomir. And what happens? All of a sudden, RJ Hampshire has also outpaced Tom Vial.
Yeah.
Who is gassed and looks in the worst riding championship form of any champion I've ever seen, and is struggling. For RJ to then put a move on Hammaker that was so idiotic and so blatantly unachievable. You see RJ cut in on that inside corner before the finish line, and you know, even if Seth Hammaker was not in contact, RJ was going down. How do I know this? The front tire was on the other side of the berm.
Yeah. Washed out right on
when
top.
He made
way
contact.
Too high. Yeah.
This dude went in way too fast. And it's what I'm telling you. I'm so tired of fools who can only win if they're riding desperate.
And tell me on that pass, how the tell me how much time was on the board.
Oh, 1 minute 55 seconds.
Three and a half laps. 3.5
all of a
laps to
sudden-
still battle and make a clean
you
pass.
take out Hammaker and yourself in hand via the championship.
KTM, baby. KTM.
What are we doing, dude?
Yeah.
And Juju Beaumaire has the audacity after the race to go up to Hammaker. Hey, man, I don't know what he said, right? I imagine it's something like, hey, dude, I didn't even know. Yeah, you did fucking know. When the
You kept
green of
looking
my
back.
bike rubbed on the orange of yours, dickhead.
You moved with after Hammaker finally passed him again to get the fuck out of the way because he's fucking slowing down. So RJ catches up, turns around. Oh, RJ's there too. Now I'm gonna fucking move and take the high side while they cut in. What? Why didn't you do that in the beginning?
Yeah.
Let these guys race.
A bunch of people are going, well, dude, why couldn't Hammaker just make the pass? Because every time he tried to make the pass, this dude almost took him out. He's fighting for a championship right now. I guarantee you Seth that whole time was going, hey, youngster, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
And I've said it a million times, and I'll keep saying it. Juju Beaumaire, for me, is like talking about Chase Sexton. Okay, cool. If he was on a roll and was consistent and had shit figured out, we'd be talking about him. He's not. Cole Davies was. Hayden Deegan was. They were putting shit together. Juju struggled all season. So, yes, I'm glad you found the Jets, dog. But this isn't your Malcolm Stewart season where Malcolm's on the gas fighting for third in the championship.
Yeah,
Juju
which is
Beaumaire,
awesome.
Dude, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. And we see Deegan, even in his heat, when Juju passed him, the fuck I need to fight for? I'm cruising, dude.
Exactly.
I'm chilling. So it's this. Then when the main comes, right? When it's West versus East, what does Deegan have to do? I have to prove that you guys can fight for that championship back there. I'm 15 seconds ahead.
Peace. Yeah.
Later.
And the only person that would have even been close to battling Deegan got hurt in practice. And I do feel like Seth Hammaker would have been up there with both of them as well if he got a better start and didn't have to deal with the bullshit.
I think if it had been Cole Davies and Deegan in the lead battling, it would have given Seth Hammaker all he needed to keep the pace with them as they were going back and forth. It would have been an awesome race.
Yeah.
However, Cole got hurt. But I just want to reiterate, I think the moves that Juju Beaumaire did are the reasons I dislike him as a rider. Is like, dude, you're trying to be relevant in shit that has nothing to do with you. Stop trying to shit talk Deegan or battle with Deegan. He smokes you every weekend, and it's not even fair. It's unbelievable. I'm sick of the drama. I know we entertained it earlier where we were like, it's healthy for the sport. It's not, because now you're doing this shit. Now you're going, I have something to prove. I'm going to make sure Seth Hammaker's blowing your doors off, dude. It
totally different coast.
It doesn't make any sense. And I'll just say this. The maturity that we see in the 450 class with people like Shane McElrath, who is not in championship contention, but he's still performing in racing at the pace. You can do both. AP, we saw in that rhythm section. Hey, they're battling for the championship.
Yeah.
He pulled over in the middle of the race. Some could say he missed the rhythm. Sure, he looked mighty smooth
he
to me.
slowed down. He doubled that triple, letting those top dogs get around. Like, get sick. I got the whole shot.
Yes.
Got some extra money. I'm gonna get a good spot now. Championship is on the line. I don't want to be involved.
Right, but we see Malcolm Stewart making the pass on Cooper Webb, consciously knowing if I take him out, he could lose the championship. So what does he do? He gets close, shuts down the line, and they both roll. Doesn't take him out, wasn't super aggressive, totally fine. Cooper doesn't retaliate. He just keeps riding his race because he only needed top 5. So when you see that in the 450 class and you see them understanding, And we go to this 250 class. There's become just a fucking joke by now, where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, if you want to give Deegan a slap on the wrist, but RJ walks away from that scot-free, as well as Juju Bomer for that block pass bullshit that he did in the beginning of the rhythm. I don't know what's going on, dude. I don't
Yeah.
get what's going on. And I'd rather take Deegan on the podium saying suck it 1,000 times than people doing block passes like this. Obviously, I get irritated, and it could be, Trevor, you get mad about nothing. I think Seth Hamaker rode his ass off this year, and he deserved that shit.
I
He had
think I
proven that
think
he
so
was
too.
on his way. He was on his way to securing it, and for RJ to do that move, and he's down by 6. You're down by 6. You weren't going to catch Deegan. Was that what you were after?
Yeah.
What a dumb move when you've got the dude that's above you in points right behind you.
They were both
What,
in
like-
front of Vial.
Yes.
Three and a half laps left.
And
maybe
you-
3.
and
You
you know
could
if you
have
go
rode
down.
it. You could have rode it to the fucking end. Give us yes, they're there to race. They're there to, win for their teams, their manufacturers and sponsors and families and stuff, and to support their families. But you know what? You're also putting on a show. Yes, it was a show. It was great. It was good racing. It's been a great, silly, crazy, wild fucking Supercross season. But dude, didn't we all just learn from last week's race in Denver? I mean, even at the press conference, you had Justin Cooper saying, yeah, I was fucking fast in Denver, but I knew who was in the championship. I knew to stop and, okay, Malcolm's behind me. I'm focusing on that because that's my race.
That's his money. If he
Exactly.
gets third in points, that's his money. If he knocks Cooper out of the championship, well, then what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Right? And we talked about that. But it's this. He was more worried about blocking Malcolm from passing him than he was passing Cooper Webb.
Yes.
That's maturity. That's why I said, hey, man, do what you got to do to secure your bag. RJ, you knew Tom Vial was in the waiting.
Yeah.
You knew that.
It was definitely a
RJ.
bad move on his part.
Also, I'll just say this on record. RJ, you had the speed in that last minute 55.
He caught
You
up.
could have battled
Yes.
and done it perfectly fine. I believe RJ probably had the speed because Hamaker was like, I just had to deal with all this shit.
Yeah.
RJ probably could have swiped by in the next section. Instead, he took them both out, handed the championship to Vial, who was already gassed and already done. And it's just one of those things to me where I'm like, what was the point of that, dude? You just screwed over both of you. And you knew he was in the wings waiting.
And
you
Hamaker
knew that.
Hamaker, even when they went down, they got up and, dude, I mean, it wasn't enough time. I think if they probably had 2 more laps, it would have been a lot closer. But Hamaker he closed the gap, but obviously not enough. But I mean, I've seen a lot of the videos 100 times because this sport, I want to talk about this too. This sport is such an emotional, like, I don't even know the words or what I'm trying to say, but these riders are putting in so much of their life, their time, their effort, their energy, their love for everything. And just to be a champion, just to win, like, they're all doing it. I don't care if you're on a factory team, a privateer team, or, just going and Ronnie Macking it. I don't care. You're out there, and just to have that feeling of, dude, I can take this championship this year. I'm healthy. I've been killing it. and then someone else wins. It's, dude, it's emotional. I can only feel, it was like, it was a back shot of when they were all sitting there, and you had, Vial and Bomir, I think, pumped up, like congratulating each other, and then you had, you know fucking Headmaker sitting a couple rollers behind, just sitting there, dude, like exhausted, freaking confused, like pissed, and to sit there and really take it in like he did, because he could have said a lot of stuff on the podium. He could have really let everybody know how he felt. So I mean, I would have said what I really wanted to say if I was him. But you know what? Same with him and Cole Davies. These riders are learning and growing and maturing within the sport. But dude, it's such a, oh my gosh, it's such a passionate sport. But it's just like, you just the feeling of the victory and then almost having it, I think it's, you can't even compare it to anything. Like Super Bowl, like you lose the Super Bowl, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It sucks, but like, no, it is, no other sport fucking has this. And that feeling of, I have it in me to do it. And I slipped, I messed up. You know what I mean? Right. Something happened. I can't even find the words to describe it, but this sport is so full of passion, and dude, that's why I love it, dude. It sucked seeing, but that shot was really cool. You just saw every emotion in that shot that a lot of the media guys got, and those are the shots that are like I love as a filmer, but you just see that and you can feel everything, excitement and like fucking disappointment for Hitmaker. Like it was just a cool shot, but no, man, it bummed me out. But you know what? I think a lot of these guys are gonna take that fire from this last round into outdoors, which I'm excited for. It's gonna be a whole different ball game. And I mean, the 450 class, man, the 450, it was awesome. I did like when we were watching it. I did like how we sat there and we knew that, okay, Chase is gone. He's going. Cooper can take a top 5. That's totally fine. And what I did like is how he heard Malcolm, he heard Justin Cooper behind him, and he moved to the side. He checked up a little bit, let those boys race, because guess what? They did that for him and Chase in Denver. That is this sport. That's what I'm talking. Like that's what I love about the 450 class is because they just have those years. They're wise in their years, and they have grown and learned in the sport from racing on 50s to where they're at late in their career. So what were your kind of thoughts on, just seeing that for the 450 class?
Yeah, it's like I said, the juxtaposition between the maturity of the 250 class and the 450 is like unparalleled, right? The 450 class, you have these guys who, if they get involved in championship stuff on accident, they're quick to be like, hey, brother, I did not mean to do that. That is on me. We're not really seeing that in the 250. And I like that you highlighted that. In the 450 class, you have these guys who are like, it's not important for me to get the best result at this race if it means I'm removing you from your battle, right? And I think that's within reason, right? If it was down to a top 3 where it was super duper close, I think it would be a different story, right?
Yeah.
I think, and you mentioned the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl, you usually have a team, right, versus another team. In Supercross and motocross, It's the Super Bowl, but if you were the only team, but you do have a teammate, except they could be fighting you in the Super Bowl. Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that could be the battle, is you versus your own team. But at the end of the day, it's all about that championship battle,
Yeah.
right? If we have a three-way battle, I'm perfectly happy with seeing Deegan in first, and second, third, and fourth being RJ Hampshire, Seth Hammaker, and Tom Vial. Why Juju Bomer didn't get the same fucking memo beats me. But in the 450 class, we see AP get a rocketing start, right? He's on it. As soon as he feels them breathing down his back, little to no issue. Even McElrath got past him, right? Like 4 people passed him in a section. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to get involved. I'm not trying to have somebody say I'm blocking Cooper Webb so that he stays in 5th, right? While Chase gets a huge lead. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
He moved over, people went by, and AP went, hey, those two, Malcolm and Cooper, they're going for third.
Yeah.
There's your championship battle right there in the front. And they maintained it, and they went. Cooper got 5th, locked in the championship, right? Chase Sexton can only ride for first and pray that Cooper has a bad night. But with somebody as consistent as Cooper Webb, don't bank on it. Don't bank on him having a bad night, because he's been putting in that work. Like you said, seeing Cooper get the championship, for me, I was proud, because I was like, dude, this dude fought through being sick at the beginning, right? Fought through different ailments throughout the season, but was consistent every time he lined up on that gate.
Yep.
That's what it came down to. If Chase hadn't DNF'd that one round, we'd be having a different conversation possibly. But you cannot deny, it's what we said at the get-go. Consistency wins championships.
100%. Yeah. It's what it comes down to, especially in the 450. Not even just the 450, both classes, 250 and 450. But it was awesome. Malcolm, just his whole season, dude, has just shocked and awed me, and I am so pumped for him. McElrath doing really good. That race was also Chisholm's last race, and he ended up getting, I don't know if it was his fault or someone else's fault. He ended up getting taken out right there on the first corner on the starting line. But, you know, Chisholm, thank you for always putting on a show for everyone and us, and congratulations on retirement. And we hope you obviously stay around in the sport, whether it's testing or, you know, racing here and there. That would be awesome. Kind of what Kenny does or something, but congrats on, again, the retirement, and thank you for, you know, being you. So it's going to be a great outdoors in 450s, and we are 2 weeks away, bro. We are 2 weeks away. Supercross is over. Hayden Deegan, West Coast. Tom Vial, East Coast 250. Cooper Webb.
Both back-to-back champs now, going into the SMX entire series where Deegan's trying to defend.
Oof. That's right.
Oof. Because you got to remember, Deegan's going to be defending not just West Coast next year.
He did win it last year.
He's defending his pro motocross, and he's defending the SMX title. He's got to defend 2 now.
So I'm excited for it, dude. It's going to be just full throttle, wide open. This is, and I think too, why a lot of those riders in the 450 class, especially, they have been putting in the work and racing every race and healthy. And I think they also wanted to stay healthy. And you know what? Someone wants to go faster. They're feeling it on the track. I'm going to let them go by, because in 2 weeks, we have outdoors, and it's even more hectic and longer season. And then SMX, and then, you know, a month or two, you know, maybe a month break, and then right back into it because they got to get at least a month or two back and ready for Supercross for the next season. So I'm just excited, dude. Honestly, I really am. We should be, you know, like we've said, I should be at Paula Hangtown, gonna do some vlogging, get some good content. And dude, I'm just looking forward to it. Not much of the heat. I don't know if I'm ready for the heat, dude. It's starting to get warm. Today it was weird. It was raining today over here.
Yeah.
Raining.
Same over
Pouring
here.
rain this morning. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. What a year. But
I'll also say we have coming up in outdoors. We can't not talk about it. 450 class is going to be nuts.
yes.
We've got Jorge Prado back.
Yep.
We've got the Lawrence brothers back. My God.
Beast
My
mode
God.
is back.
Beast mode's back, baby.
ET3.
We're gonna have Cooper Webb going, fuck. I just grinded all Supercross season. I don't want to do it again, dude.
Right.
And he's gonna have to.
Yeah, I think he's not gonna go full out. I don't like Cooper Webb is good at moto and outdoors, but I think he's so much better in Supercross and just the heavy hitters. Like you just mentioned, all the riders that are coming back. There's 3 riders that are coming back that are gonna be up top. We don't know if Chase is gonna be up top. Hell, we don't know if even Justin Cooper is going to show up and perform and be up there too. So I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, last year he was on it. We did also see, or I did see, I don't know if you did yet, El Hombre is back. Anderson is back on the bike. He's been practicing, getting ready. So he was on a Cowie. He was on his Cowie, so I don't know if maybe, you know, because there was rumors. Is he taking time off? Is he looking for another team because he's off of Cowie? Is he going in by himself on a Cowie? What is happening? We also are going to have Ducati. Ducati, I believe, is going to be, I think they only have a 450. As of right now. So I think they said that they were going to come out in 2026, but rumor is that they are going to be having a rider possibly for outdoors. I don't know if it's going to be in the middle from the beginning, round 1, or if they're going to jump in, you know, at a different round. But I'm excited to see what that bike can do, what rider's going to be there. I think something's going to be announced between these 2 weeks. A lot of these riders are going to be absolutely on it with practice. I wish I was down south. I'll be going down south, not this coming week, but next week. And we have amateur days, so I'm going to be going down there, probably filming Dane Pappas and a bunch of other fast amateur riders. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, yeah, it's not too hot, dude. I'm hoping it's not, but I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what Prado can do with outdoors this year.
Dude, do you want to know my dream?
Tell me.
My dream is Ducati announces Jeffrey Hurling's racing the 2025 Motocross Championship. I would lose my fucking mind. It's not happening because I can give you the scoop. I am going to be the Ducati rider for the 2025 Motocross season.
We're talking about in real life, not MX bikes.
Oh, then I don't know who is going to be riding the Ducati. I can tell you this, though. I'm basing most of my is that pass acceptable to if that happened to me in MX bikes, how mad would I be? That's why I was so angry at the beginning of this podcast. I need people to know, if you do that to me in MX Bikes, I will find your IP address, I will geolocate you, and I will send you the most horrific letter you've ever found in your entire life.
Just a book of insults.
I will go out and train a murder of crows to find you and shit on your car every time you leave your house.
Pigeons.
And if you think I can't, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. But yeah, man, motocross is going to be sick. We'll see what happens. I want, before we leave, who do you have for the championship in motocross this year?
Bro, let's
250 and 450.
Get into it. 450. I'm going to start with 450 first. I'm honestly... Oh, man. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen enough riding from the Lawrence, but I should be careful when I say Lawrence Brothers. Jet. I haven't seen enough riding from Jet. Come on. Hunter will probably be a top 5, top 6 guy. We know that. I mean, outdoors he does do a lot better than Supercross. I do give him that, and he's a phenomenal rider. But you know what? I think Prado is going to surprise us because his injury wasn't as long as Tomac's and Jet's. So I think he's been on the bike, being able to be more conditioned. I think he's going to surprise us in the first race at Paula. There has been track changes at Paula too. They took out the big jump in the middle. So when I called Dane Pappas today, I asked him, like, how's the track? How's the layout? He said it is smoother. It's faster. Mm-hmm. And just knowing how Myron will probably put the track together, it will be a deep rutted, fast track. More of probably Prado side. So I think I'm going to go Prado. Second place, I'm going to have to go with Jet, honestly. Mm-hmm. Jet. And in third, I'm probably going to have to say I'm going to have to go with Sexton, to be honest, just because of how he's coming off of Supercross. I know he has the bike down for Supercross, but how he is feeling right now, mentally, physically, I think that those are my top 3. And then for 250, I think it will be Hayden. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be Hayden, Seth Haymaker, Levi Kitchen.
Okay. I'm going to go 250. I think it will be Hayden, RJ, Seth Haymaker for 250s, and 450. Follow me. We haven't seen much riding from the Lawrence brothers. That's because they're keeping it top secret. I've seen the movie Rookie of the Year where the kid breaks his arm and becomes the pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. I'm going Jorge Prado, number 1, because you gave him way too much time to prepare for outdoors.
Yep.
And this dude is an MXGP master rider.
Yep.
You're all fucked right now. That's my opinion. I'm hoping I'm proved right because I think Prado's an excellent racer. I think he's really good, and I think he has the speed, and I think some other people, when they've been rehabilitating their injury, have been preoccupying themselves with a little more fashion, while Prado has been learning the art of the blade. Do you get what I mean?
Fully.
But I think Hunter Lawrence is going to sneak into the battle for the championship because I think every time we see Hunter come back from an injury, he's a little bit more put together and faster. I'm hoping we see that. I think Jet is going to have his hands full coming back from missing most of a season, going right back in the outdoors. But we also have Tomac, dude.
Yeah.
And rumor is it may be his last hurrah. I'm slotting him in for third in all 3 battling for the championship. I think Jet and Sexton are going to have a little unresolved shit that they're going to need to make up. And then for fourth, you throw an El Hombre in there, and it's a dangerous game. So that's what I'm saying. The field is stacked going into the 450s. 250s, I'm going, Cole Davies is out, so we're not going to see that. Right?
I'm so bummed.
We don't know. So we won't know. But if Levi Kitchen has put his time in on this offseason where he's been hurt, I think he has a shot to mix it up a bit. But he hasn't really had the same speed or consistency as we've seen Hammaker and RJ have. And we know those two are coming out pissed as hell, whether at themselves or at other riders. They're going to have something to prove. And remember, it all counts to the SMX championship, which is another bag of money for them. Yes. So they want to be up at the top. They're not just going to go, I'll relax during motocross. Cooper Webb's not going in thinking that either. Cooper Webb's going, fuck, if I want a shot at SMX, I have to be just as consistent. So
absolutely,
sick, man.
No, I think those are really good points and good picks for round one at Paula. So I'm excited. 2 weeks away. And that's gonna have to do it for this show. Supercross is over, and comment your riders that you have, whether it's the top three or your first place pick for 250 and 450 down in the comments. Leave a like, feel free to share, and hit that sub button. We'll see you in the next one at Paula.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.